We aren't talking about a private jet today. We are talking about a logistical weapon designed to operate in the shadows of international law. I have analyzed the comprehensive operational and legal autopsy of the Boeing 727-100, tail number N908JE, and what I found is a masterclass in criminal engineering. This aircraft, notoriously known as the Lolita Express, wasn't just a symbol of wealth. It was an extraterritorial zone, a space where political power, financial dominance, and sexual exploitation operated completely outside of human oversight. To understand the scale of this, we have to look at the technical genealogy of MSN 201115. This bird first flew in June 1969, serving the golden age of commercial aviation with TWA. Epstein strategically acquired this Boeing in 2001 through JEGE Inc., a shell company registered in Delaware to act as a legal cloak for his aviation operations. Why a Boeing 727? Because its three-engine design allowed it to land on shorter, more obscure runways, perfect for connecting small private islands like Little St. James to international networks without the scrutiny of major hubs. He didn't just buy a plane, he modified it into a flying harem. Aviation experts who inspected the cabin described it as a 1970s-style sex palace. While most executive jets have conference tables and workstations, N908JE was fitted with plush red velvet seats and furniture, where almost every piece could convert into a bed. It was a suite of luxury designed for long-term stays in the air. But the most chilling detail was the Bloomberg terminal sitting right there in the cabin. Epstein was literally monitoring global financial markets and executing billion-dollar trades while committing felony crimes in the same room. But the real genius and the real horror was in the regulatory gaps. Epstein operated under FAA Part 125, a massive loophole for large private aircraft that has significantly lower reporting requirements for domestic flights compared to commercial aviation. He centered his operations at Teterboro Airport in New Jersey. Why? Because Teterboro uses private terminals, or FBOs. In these elite shadows, the wealthy can drive their private cars directly to the aircraft stairs, bypassing TSA, baggage checks, and any form of standard identification. This absolute discretion allowed Epstein to move victims without parental consent or identity verification, effectively making the terminal a gateway to a world of shadows.
And there's nothing illegal about taking a teen on a trip on a private aircraft.
No. The closest that we get in the United States is Customs and Border Protection have a rule where if you're coming in from international destinations, you should bring a letter of consent saying, I have the parents' agreement, the parents' consent that I can fly with this teen or this child, but that's not required. Other countries do require it, we don't.
And the pilots? They were the gatekeepers of these secrets. Larry Vyssotsky Jr., Epstein's chief pilot for nearly 30 years, testified that he flew everyone from Bill Clinton and Donald Trump to Prince Andrew and John Glenn. Vyssotsky claimed he saw nothing, despite the doors often being open. But follow the money. Epstein gave Vyssotsky 40 acres of land and paid for his daughter's education. That's not a salary, that's a purchase of loyalty. On the other hand, pilot David Rogers' logbooks were more honest. They confirmed that Virginia Giuffre was on that jet with Prince Andrew in 2001, often listed under the initials GM for Ghislaine Maxwell. The passenger manifest, finally fully exposed under the 2026 Epstein Files Transparency Act, is a ledger of institutional failure. Bill Clinton traveled at least 27 times, sometimes on humanitarian trips to Africa with actors like Kevin Spacey and Chris Trucker, but records show his Secret Service detail was often omitted from the logs. Donald Trump was on board at least 8 times in the 90s, with one flight in 1993 showing only him and Epstein as passengers. Even scientific icons like Stephen Hawking and business titans like Bill Gates were caught in this social spiderweb, providing a veneer of legitimacy to a criminal operation. Then there is the dark rumor of extortion. Survivors like Maria Farmer claim Epstein's properties were rigged with pinhole cameras to record guests in private moments. The hypothesis is that the plane was no different, a flying trap used to secure silence from the world's most influential men. While the DOJ in 2025 claimed they found no systematic evidence of blackmail, the rapid destruction of the plane in October 2019, just weeks after Epstein's death, tells a different story. The metal was scrapped, the engines were removed, and the physical evidence was erased before it could be fully scrutinized. N908JE wasn't just a plane, it was a governance vacuum. It proved that if you have enough wealth, you can build a system where the laws of aviation and the laws of morality simply stop at the terminal gate. Even with the airframe destroyed, the digital footprints in the FAA's traffic flow management system and fuel records remain a permanent indictment of our failed systems. I'm Sana, and this was the full operational autopsy of the Lolita Express. Go to the description, read the logs for yourself, and tell me, is it possible for a pilot to fly a sex palace for 30 years and see nothing? Or is the price of silence just 40 acres of land? Stay sharp, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.